Look at that. Live again. What up, Facebook? Today, I'm going to talk about limiting beliefs. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Brian Bender. I'm the owner of Elevated Kinetics. And through my workshop, in 10 weeks, I actually help the busiest people lose 10 to 20 pounds. And it's not one of these, you know, magic pill systems. We actually go really deep and we keep it off forever. So, anyway, back to my live topic, which is limiting beliefs. We hear about this all the time usually in the professional world. And in the professional world, it's usually, I can't get a promotion, or I'm only good enough to do X or Y or Z. With me, on the training side, being a high level strength coach, I work with athletes all the time that have really similar limiting beliefs, and I've kind of adapted this whole thing to help people to lose weight and actually get strong. But with athletes, it's crazy to hear their limiting beliefs, because they'll say things like, "Oh, I'm not as good as so and so," or it'll be a little bit deeper within their psyche. So they'll see so and so who's winning all the time. They're out ranking them on their own team, or they're going out and trying out for some other team, and this other individual is constantly beating them, and they just assume that they're always going to be beaten by that person. This happened to me a long time ago when I was still playing hockey. There was a guy. It was still when I used to do that. I don't even know if they do this anymore because I've been out of it so long. But it was state selections, and there was a guy who we were always kind of neck and neck, but he would always make teams above me, and so I just always assumed that he was going to be edging me out for whatever reason, and it was just this limiting belief that I always carried. And then one day out on the ice, we were against each other. We were actually both defensemen, and it was a situation where he tried to bring the puck in, and I laid this guy out. And he was bigger than me. He's, in my opinion, he was better skilled than me. And you guys knew me playing hockey. I was never that good to begin with, but that was part of this. Anyway, after I laid him out, we get off the ice and we see the selection, and I actually ranked better than him for this particular selection process. And that was like, oh crap, because all in all, I actually thought he was better than I was, even during this weekend that was like 6 or 7 sessions that I thought he did better than me all in all. But it was that one play where I laid him out, and I felt really good about that. And that's actually because of that, when I encounter something now where it's hard, or I don't think I'm good enough, or whatever, I have these same limiting beliefs, I actually think about that exact scenario in which I was successful, and it puts me in a better state, and then I can kind of overcome and conquer it. Now, this is really interesting because lately, both in my workshop and with some of my clients that I've been working with before the workshop really took off, been analyzing some of the things that they've been saying, and they'll put these limits on themselves that don't really exist. So, for example, a weight in weightlifting that limits a person. And, I'll use myself as an example for this again. When I first started weightlifting, I wanted nothing more than to snatch 100 kilos because it was triple digits, right? And it was more than I weighed at the time. I was a 77 kilo lifter. And then I became an 85 kilo lifter. And now it's, I don't even know if I've lifted since they changed the weight class. Anyway, this triple digit thing was in my mind, but it had no meaning whatsoever. And 100 kilos is like 220 pounds. It's really not a lot of weight for a weightlifter. But I was thinking about this all the time, and it was like this dark cloud over me. So I have people with these weights in their minds all the time, and they just invent them out of nowhere. With some people, it's 100 pounds. Some people, it's 50 pounds. It doesn't have to be a snatch or a clean and jerk. It could be a squat. The point is, people invent these arbitrary things that are the limiters. It could be a time, like a firefighter is trying to do a step test in a certain amount of time, and they might put this limiter on themselves where they can't ever beat it. Well, as soon as they think that that is this baseline that they're limited by, all of a sudden they've set up the framework for the limiting belief. And then it takes somebody like me a lot of work to deconstruct these things and remove it. And I recommend books for them, like Mind Gym, or even The Obstacle is the Way is another great one if I think that they might like Stoicism, or The Alter Ego. That's my current favorite one, because Todd Herman is the man with performance-based training, and he's actually the one, I heard him on a podcast recently. He completely discredits the use of the term potential. Okay, so potential, the word itself, is a limiting belief. And so I'm completely all in with this philosophy. So if you guys haven't followed Todd Herman, I would follow him. But anyway, eliminate your limiting beliefs and you can finally get to the next level. And so much so that if you not just get rid of the limiting beliefs, but if you go to the next step where you're not actually really even considering what those things used to be, then and only then can you make progress.